My name is Adrian Romo, and this is my faith story. So I've always believed in God, but that was really the extent of it. I never had a relationship with God. I grew up in a loving home, a loving family, loving mother and father. But church just really wasn't a part of our lives. We'd go to church on Easter, certain holidays, but it wasn't something that we would regularly attend. So I married my wife, Tina, who grew up in the church, had a very strong relationship with God. 8 years later, we began to have our children, our first daughter, Adrian, and then a few years later, Nikki. Tina made sure that they attended church, and I continued to make excuses not to go, make excuses not to attend church. As the girls grew up, they're the ones that actually started asking me, "Dad, will you come to church with us?" And I'd go every once in a while, but I never. It wasn't something that I would consistently do. I would go back to my old ways and make excuses not to go to church. So throughout my life, I never felt completely happy. Even when things were going great, I had a great job. Spent time. I've always been a family man, but I always felt like something was missing, and it became worse and worse. I was becoming easily agitated. I'd get angry, and just never felt completely happy, even at the happy times. But then one day, I got selected for jury duty. Lucky me. As I was sitting in the waiting room, I noticed a familiar face. I looked over and I saw Mickey Eccles. I went over and introduced myself and talked with him, and told him that we go to the church, knowing full well that I'd hardly attended. A couple of days later, I received an invitation from Mickey into a life group, and first thing I thought was, what kind of excuse can I make up not to go? But I decided to go. Me and my wife decided to go, and we attended the life group session. First life group meeting, I admitted to Bonnie Eccles that I'd never been saved. So a couple of days after our first meeting, I started getting calls from Mickey, and just wanted to meet, wanted to get together. And again, I tried to make excuses. I was too busy. I had other things to do to not meet with Mickey. But he was persistent. And actually, my mentality when this was before I was saved, my mentality was still just always angry and I actually in my mind would think things like, Mickey's just trying to fill his quota to save somebody, and so far from the truth. But those are the things that were going on in my head. So I finally agreed to meet Mickey, and on February 21st, 2014 at 2 o'clock, I accepted the Lord as my Savior. Taco Villa of all places. I immediately began to feel weight, a ton of weight lifted off my shoulders. Now, I'm not saying that all of my problems just disappeared, but the problems they didn't weigh as much on me as they did in the past. Well, one of the things after becoming saved is I was able to bring my daughter Nikki in with us. We prayed, and she has now been saved. So I thank God every day, or I thank God for my wife, for my family, Bonnie and Mickey Eccles, for staying on me, for encouraging me to be closer to God, to bringing me closer to God. I thank God for my life group, for supporting me. I look forward to our Wednesday meetings. But most of all, I thank God for His forgiveness, for accepting a sinner like me, knowing that I'll be in His kingdom someday.